There's a quiet secret sitting in places most people ignore: cold wood ash left behind after a fire. For years, it's been treated as waste, swept away without a second thought. But what if that gray powder could completely change how your plants grow? Not slowly over months, but in ways you can actually notice within days. Many gardeners struggle with tired soil, weak flowering, and disappointing harvests despite trying fertilizer after fertilizer. The truth is, the problem often isn't what you're adding, it's how you're adding it. This is where fermented wood ash changes everything. It transforms something harsh and potentially damaging into a gentle, intelligent soil tonic that works with nature instead of against it. Stay with me, because once you understand this process, you'll never look at wood ash the same way again. And before we go further, take a second to like this video, share it with someone who loves gardening, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Nature's Flora for more practical, no-nonsense growing wisdom. Wood ash is often praised for its rich mineral content, especially potassium and calcium. On paper, it sounds like the perfect natural fertilizer, but in reality, raw ash can do more harm than good when applied directly to soil. The issue lies in its intensity. Wood ash is highly alkaline, and when it comes into contact with moisture, it releases minerals all at once. This sudden release shocks the soil system. The pH rises too quickly, beneficial microbes struggle to survive, and delicate root systems can burn before they absorb any nutrients. This is why some gardeners see amazing results, while others end up with stressed, yellowing plants. The difference isn't the ash, it's how it's prepared. Fermentation changes the entire game. Instead of dumping raw minerals into the soil, you allow natural processes to soften and stabilize them. When wood ash is combined with water and a small sugar source, microbial life begins to develop. These microorganisms produce organic acids that bind with the minerals, reducing their harshness and making them more accessible to plants. What was once aggressive becomes balanced. This process mimics what happens in nature, where nutrients are slowly broken down and released over time. Fermentation doesn't just make ash safer, it makes it smarter. It delivers nutrients in a form that soil biology can handle, ensuring plants receive what they need without stress. One of the most surprising aspects of fermented wood ash is how fast plants react. Leaves appear greener, growth becomes more stable, and flowering improves noticeably. This isn't because you're directly feeding the plant, it's because you're strengthening the soil ecosystem. Healthy soil is alive with microbes that regulate nutrient flow. When you introduce a fermented tonic, you're feeding these organisms first. In return, they process and deliver nutrients to plant roots efficiently. Potassium enhances water regulation and energy transfer. Calcium strengthens plant structure, and trace minerals support essential biological functions. The result is balanced growth that feels steady rather than forced. Creating this tonic is simple, but consistency really matters. Start with clean ash from untreated hardwood. Avoid any ash from painted, treated, or processed wood, since it may contain harmful chemicals. Sift the ash to remove large debris, leaving just a fine powder. Mix 1 cup of this ash into 1 gallon of non-chlorinated water. If you're using tap water, let it sit for 24 hours to allow the chlorine to dissipate. Add a tablespoon of molasses, raw sugar, or even mashed overripe fruit to feed microbial activity. Stir thoroughly, then cover the container loosely to allow airflow while keeping insects out. Place it in a warm, shaded area. Over the next 7 to 14 days, the mixture will transform. The sharp chemical smell fades and is replaced by an earthy, natural scent. That's your signal that fermentation is complete. Application is where, honestly, a lot of gardeners make mistakes. This mixture is not meant to be used straight, it must be diluted. For garden beds, mix 1 cup of the fermented liquid into 1 gallon of water. Apply it to already moist soil to make sure microbes can move freely and integrate into the root zone. For container plants, reduce the strength to half a cup per gallon. Timing also matters here. The best moments to apply this tonic are just before flowering and during early fruit development when plants need higher levels of potassium and calcium. Used correctly, it enhances growth without overwhelming the plant. Success with fermented wood ash really comes down to restraint and patience. Using too much can disrupt the balance you've worked to create. This is a supportive tonic, not a heavy fertilizer. Another common mistake is rushing the fermentation process. If the mixture still smells sharp or unpleasant, it just isn't ready. Proper fermentation produces a mild, earthy aroma. Also, always pay attention to your ash source. Contaminated ash introduces toxins that can build up in soil over time. Healthy soil remembers everything you add, so quality really matters. The real value of this method isn't just about faster growth, it's about long-term soil health. Regular use supports microbial diversity, improves soil structure, and builds resilience against stress. Plants grown in this environment are stronger, more productive, and better able to handle changing conditions. Instead of chasing quick fixes, you're creating a system that gets better with every season. If you've been looking for a natural, effective way to boost your garden without relying on synthetic inputs, this is honestly one of the simplest and most powerful methods you can adopt. Try it, observe your results, and refine your approach over time. And if you found this guide helpful, make sure to subscribe to Nature's Flora, share this with fellow growers, and join the conversation in the comments.